We need to talk about why you're exhausted when your life looks fine on paper. You're handling everything. People tell you how well you're doing. Yet you wake up already tired and by noon you're running on fumes. If you've been wondering why your rest doesn't fix this kind of tired, comment below what time of day you hit your wall. Mine used to be 2 p.m. every single day. Hit subscribe right now if you're ready for conversations about the exhaustion nobody sees. Welcome to Haven Hub Life. I'm Lolly, a life coach and your guide and fellow traveler for strong, high-functioning women navigating life's hardest chapters with dignity and honesty. And each week, we name the quiet struggles, unpack the emotional weight, and explore the shifts that move you towards clarity and what you actually want. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need a new way through. Today, you're getting the framework that finally explains why you feel emotionally bankrupt, and more importantly, what those energy leaks actually are. Let me paint you a picture. You finish work, and somehow you're more exhausted than if you'd done a full workout at the gym. Your body is tired, but this goes deeper. You feel tired down to your soul. You doom scroll on your phone for an hour, maybe even more, because choosing what to make for dinner feels absolutely impossible. Then someone texts asking for a favor, and before you can respond, you're already imagining doing it. You're imagining resenting it and feeling guilty about the resentment. That whole emotional cycle happens in under 3 seconds. No wonder you're drained. So here's what's actually happening. You're in emotional overdraft. Yes, like a bank account, you have emotional resources. You have energy, compassion, patience, creativity, and focus, and a few others as well. Every interaction makes a withdrawal. But here's the part that will blow your mind. You're spending emotional energy on things that haven't even happened yet. You pre-feel conversations. You rehearse conflicts. You manage other people's emotions before they've even happened. I want you to type scene in the comments if you've ever exhausted yourself having imaginary arguments in your mind. You see, this exhaustion has nothing to do with being weak or doing too much physically. You could quit half your activities and still feel this tired because the drain is happening somewhere else entirely. You see, everyone thinks burnout comes from doing too much. That's kind of surface level. What's really happening goes far deeper. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're running 3 jobs, but only one is actually paying you. First, there's your actual life, the things you do, right? Then second, there's your emotional management job, where you regulate everyone's feelings around you. And then third, and this is the killer, there's your preemptive peacekeeping job, where you prevent problems that might never happen. So let me give you an example. Let's say your sister calls. Before answering, you're already strategizing how to avoid the guilt trip about Thanksgiving or that family Sunday lunch. You're preparing responses for her passive-aggressive comments about your life choices. And you're calculating how much energy you'll need to recover afterwards. You've had the entire emotional experience before the actual conversation even happens. Or even better, someone asks you to help with something. While they're still talking, you're simultaneously figuring out how to do it, resenting that they asked, feeling guilty for resenting it, and then crafting how to say yes in a way that doesn't reveal your resentment. That emotional gymnastics routine happens in literally seconds. You're processing 5 layers of emotion for one simple request. Your nervous system treats emotional labor like physical labor, and every time you manage somebody's mood, predict their needs, or smooth over tension, your body responds like you've actually done something strenuous. Your cortisol spikes, your energy depletes, and because this work is invisible, nobody sees you do it, including you. So there's research on emotional labor which shows that women do about 71% more of this invisible work than men. We call it being caring or intuitive, whereas really it's unpaid labor that's draining your life force. So what if you stopped spending energy on emotions that haven't happened yet? Seriously, what if you waited to feel things until they actually occurred? And here's a wild thought. Other people's emotions are not your advanced homework. You don't get extra credit for solving problems before they exist. I know, wild. Your writing checks your emotional account cannot cash, and the overdraft fees are your exhaustion. They are your resentment and that bone deep tiredness that rest cannot touch. Think about your current or your checking account, however you want to call it. When you're overdrawn, every tiny transaction causes another fee. That's what's happening emotionally. Because you're already depleted, every small request feels huge. Someone asking what's for dinner becomes overwhelming. A text you need to respond to sits for days. And not because you're lazy, but because you're overdrawn. By the way, if this is hitting home, I'm doing a live workshop on December the 2nd called Protecting Your Peace Without Feeling Guilty. We'll be doing energy audit together live, and I'll walk you through finding your exact energy leaks. You'll leave with actual boundary scripts that work without the guilt spiral. The link's below in the show notes, but let me show you why this matters first. The solution starts with recognizing these preemptive withdrawals. That anxiety about next week's meeting, you're spending Tuesday's energy on Monday. The guilt about saying no to something, you're spending interest on guilt that isn't even yours. So let me teach you the energy audit. And this will change everything about how you understand your exhaustion. For one day, track your emotional transactions. Not your activities now, your emotional spending. Every time you feel drained, note what just happened. Not the surface events, but the emotional labor underneath. Let's say your partner leaves dishes in the sink. Surface level, it would be that being annoying. But the emotional transaction would be you managed your irritation, you calculated whether it's worth mentioning, and then you decided how to bring it up without starting a fight. And then you've then felt guilty for being bothered by something that small. And then cleaned them yourself while swallowing resentment. You see that whole thing? That's 5 emotional transactions for one dish. And it goes on and on. Let's say your friend vents about the same problem again. So on the surface, it's you listening, but the emotional transaction is that you suppressed your advice because she wouldn't take it. You manage your frustration about the repetition, and you performed interest you don't even feel. You worried about being a bad friend for being bored. You crafted responses that sounded supportive without enabling. Very exhausting. So I want you to start noticing the compound interest on emotional transactions. And one interaction can generate 10 emotional micro tasks. So you can see why you are tired all the time. Now, here's what you do with this information. You can start choosing which emotional tasks are actually yours. Let's say someone's upset. Well, that feeling belongs to them unless they specifically ask for your support. Someone might be disappointed. Let them feel it when it happens. If it happens, don't start anticipating them. Wait for them to feel it and see what you want to do about it then. Now, I know we need to address something, and that is the guilt. So, what about the guilt? Well, I know what you're thinking. If I stop managing everyone's emotions, I'm selfish, I'm cold, I'm mean. Well, actually, that's not the case. That's actually guilt. It's withdrawal symptoms from your addiction to everyone else's comfort. You've been taught that your worth comes from how well you manage the emotional climate around you. And of course, pulling back is going to feel wrong. Your whole identity, to a certain extent, is wrapped up in being the one who keeps everyone okay. This guilt piece is exactly what we tackle in the workshop. You'll get word-for-word boundary scripts that let you say no clearly and kindly, without the over-explaining that actually makes things worse. Plus, the permission slip prompts helps you release that obligation that isn't even yours. December 2nd at 8 p.m., grab your spot before we fill up. And here's the truth. You managing everyone's emotions doesn't actually help them. It keeps them from developing their own emotional skills. It prevents honest connection. It maintains dynamics where your exhaustion subsidizes their comfort. So when you stop pre-feeling everything, something amazing actually happens. You then have energy for actually being present in the situation instead of managing and strategizing and preventing. You can actually show up fully, with genuine care instead of performing concern. So I want you to start small. Pick one person whose emotions you're going to stop pre-managing. When they call, answer without strategizing. When they're upset, let them be upset without fixing. When they might judge your choices, just let them. Their feelings about your life are not your responsibility. So, here's your homework, and I mean this literally. Do it today. Pick 3 emotional tasks you're going to resign from. Maybe it's managing your mom's disappointment. Maybe it's preventing your partner's bad moods. Maybe it's softening feedback so coworkers don't feel bad. Write them down. For example, I am no longer responsible for dealing with insert the thing, right? Put it somewhere you'll see it, because tomorrow, when habit kicks in and you start pre-managing, you need that reminder. Look, I know this is hard to do it alone. That's why I created the Protecting Your Peace Without Feeling Guilty workshop. It's going to happen on Tuesday, December the 2nd at 8 p.m. It's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll do your complete energy audit together. We'll create your personal boundaries map, and you'll leave with the exact scripts for those conversations you've been avoiding. You don't have to stop caring. You have to stop overgiving. There's a massive difference. And in the workshop, you'll finally understand why kindness and boundaries can coexist beautifully. You get the complete Boundaries Reset Toolkit with 4 downloadable guides, including the Energy Audit Worksheet and Boundary Scripts Guide. You're going to get replay access if you can't make it live. The link will be in the show notes. We keep it small and interactive, so grab your spot now. Your emotional overdraft happens slowly, one invisible task at a time, until you're running on empty, wondering why reset doesn't help and why everything feels so bad. You're not failing, you're overdrawn. There's a difference, and that difference matters. In the comments, tell me what emotional job you're ready to quit. What invisible later are you done performing? Subscribe if you're not already, because this series is about to get really real about why protecting your peace feels so hard. You're not crazy for feeling exhausted when your life looks manageable. You're doing invisible work nobody sees, including you. Until now. Thanks for listening today. If this stirred something in you, send it to somebody who'd get it too. You never know who's holding the same thing quietly. I'm Lolly, and I'll see you next time. Until then, keep choosing yourself. Bye.